بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم
اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر اشہد ان لا الہ الا اللہ اشہد ان لا الہ الا اللہ اشہد ان محمد رسول اللہ اشہد ان محمد رسول اللہ حی علی الصلاۃ حی علی الصلاۃ حی علی الفلاح حی علی الفلاح اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر لا الہ الا اللہ
اشہد ان لا الہ الا اللہ وحدہ لا شریک لہ واشہد ان محمدا عبدہ ورسولہ اما بعد فاعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم The first verses I want to recite are from chapter 109, Al-Kafirun. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun la a'budu ma ta'budun وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ وَلَا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. All disbelievers, I do not serve what you serve, nor do you serve him whom I serve, nor shall I serve that which you serve, nor do you serve him whom I serve. For you is your recompense, and for me is my recompense. And the next is chapter 6, verses 108 and 9. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكُوا وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا وَمَا أَنْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِوَكِيلٍ وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ كَذَلِكَ زَيَّنَّا لِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ عَمَلَهُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَى رَبِّهِمْ مَرْجِعُهُمْ فَيُنَبِّئُهُم بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And if Allah had wanted, they would not have set up others with him. And we have not appointed you a keeper over them, and you are not placed in charge of them. And abuse not those whom they call upon besides Allah. In case exceeding the limits, they abuse Allah through ignorance. Thus to every people have we made their deeds fair-seeming. Then to their Lord is their return, and he will inform them of what they did. And the last, it is chapter 20, verse 44. فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَىٰ. Then speak to him a gentle word, haply he may mind or fear. Sadaqallahul Aliyyul Azim. I have recited these verses, and I've given this khutbah the title, How to Deal with Those Who Disagree. And in the first verse that I recited, there are two words which are important. The first word says, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. And kafirun has become a kind of a word of abuse in many Muslim countries. But literally, the word kafir means a person who hides something. The word is used for night because darkness hides everything. You can't see everything. A farmer is called, the same word is used. Why? Because he takes the seeds and he hides them under the soil so that they can't be seen. So it is a word whose normal meaning is people, from your point of view, who are hiding the truth when you're talking to human beings. Because what you believe, you think is the truth. That's the right thing. And this is why you're arguing with them. So simply that. It's not a term of abuse, that people take it to be. Because God says elsewhere, and abuse not those whom they call upon besides Allah. So here, even mushrikeen, even those people who worship idols, Islam forbids use of strong language against them. And the other word that is important is deen. And deen is translated in many different ways in the Holy Quran. And it's a very wide word. It means significance, it means power, it means government, it means state, it means law, it means judgment, result, reward and punishment, recompense, as Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali has translated in Surah Al-Kafirun, for you is your recompense, and for me is my recompense. And it also means obedience, to obey something. The point is that an individual's life has many aspects. There is the social aspect and the legal aspect and so on and so forth. Employment aspect, etc. Now, the Holy Quran has encompassed all these different aspects of life into one word, deen. And this is why Muslims say Islam is not a religion. Why? Because religion implies, in a way, you worship the divine being. You'll say Christianity is a religion because there is not much of law and so on in Christianity, but you go to your church and you have a church service and so on. With Hindus, something similar. The only thing that is concentrated upon and stressed is how to worship the divine being. But Muslims say that Islam is not just about the way you worship Allah. This is one aspect of life, but also the way you live, how you interact with your family, with your friends, with your neighbors, with your employers, etc., and the consequences of the way that you live. And those consequences, not just in this world, but also in the hereafter. This is why Muslims say Islam is not a religion, it is a deen. Or people say, rather than the long roundabout way in which I've said it, Muslims say Islam is the way of life. So it encompasses every aspect of your life. And one of those aspects, an important one, is how do you deal with others? How do you deal with people who disagree with you? How do you deal with people who might annoy you? You know, maybe your neighbor, it may be your boss, it may be your colleagues, but mostly it's going to be your wife and children who will annoy you. But I don't want to go into that because I haven't learned cooking yet. So here God says this, that the chapter of the Holy Quran that Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali has translated as "O you disbelieve," or "O disbelievers," you can translate that as, "O you who disagree with me." And then says, "I do not serve what you serve, nor do you serve him whom I serve." So that's the holy point, setting out the points of disagreement with the Quraysh of Makkah. That you pray to idols, and I don't pray to them. I pray to Allah. Nor shall I serve that in which you serve. The Holy Prophet says to them, "I'm not going to worship idols and pray to them and ask them for help and so on. Nor do you serve him whom I serve. And you're not going to change your ways and start worshipping Allah." So what are we going to do? Are we going to fight each other? Are we going to come to blows? And Allah gives the answer. If Allah had pleased, He would have let them set up those idols in competition with Allah. I mean, how hard is it for Allah to create the whole of humanity so that they all believed in Him rather than make idols and worship idols and so on? And God says, you are not the Urdu word chokidar. You're not the security guard. I haven't put you in charge over them to make sure that they believe in me and they don't pray to anyone else. That is not your job. But then Allah says, but don't use abusive language even to describe their idols. Abuse not those whom they call upon besides Allah. Because what will happen? If you do that, they'll retaliate by using abusive language against you and Allah, and that will lead to friction. And you see, the next sentence of the Holy Quran is very important. We have made their deeds fair seeming to them. Just think about this. I'm a Muslim, I believe in Islam, I belong to the Lahore Ahmadi community because I believe that their beliefs are correct. But then, so does my friend, the vicar of the church down the road, who's my neighbor. He believes in Christianity. Why? Because God has made him feel that his deeds are fair seeming. And so does a Sikh or a Christian or anyone else. I mean, no one says, I believe in this religion, and when asked why, the answer is, well, this is the most ludicrous, the most illogical thing that anyone could come up with, and this is why I believe in it. No, everyone will argue. Those Quraysh argued with the Holy Prophet Muhammad about the sanctity of those idols and so on and so forth. So God is answering these questions on the Holy Quran and then telling us how to deal with them and how to address them. Speak to him a gentle word. So speak to these people. This was the instruction to Moses when he was going to propagate the unity of Godhead to him. How did God say? Pharaoh himself claimed to be God, an incarnation of God on earth. And this goes back to the verse I recited previously. If Allah had pleased, then Pharaoh wouldn't have been set up as a god in competition with Allah. So Allah says, speak to him gently. If you abuse him, he's just going to become angry and abusive in return. As the next verse says, and abuse them not. So God says, speak to him gently, because it may be if you speak to him, then, he will change his mind. So that is the point that, the last verse of the chapter Al-Kafirun makes. And it can be translated in many ways. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali Rahmatullah Alayh has translated that, for you is your recompense and for me is my recompense. Sorry, the battery was changed. Sorry, we're having a technical problem. That we appear to have lost the video for a second here, but it's come back. Yes, the last verse you can translate it in many ways. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali Rahmatullah Alayh says, for you is your recompense and for me is mine. You could say, translate that as, well, you live the way you want to, and I live the way that I want to. And we will each see the result of following our idea of how human beings should live and behave, etc. And this is such wonderful teaching. Remember, this is 1500 years ago. You can summarize that in one sentence of the English language: live and let live. Live and let live. Teach human beings with respect. You can disagree with their, you can disagree with the way they live. You can disagree with their ideas and so on. But at the end of the day, it's up to them to decide. And at the end of the day, it's the individual whom God will show on the day of judgment whether he was right or wrong. As the verse of the Holy Quran says, we have made their deeds fair seeming to them. Then to their Lord is their return, and he will inform them of what they did. It is not for you or me to inform people or fight with people and so on to say whether they are right or wrong. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Qur'anil Azim wa nafa'ana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim. Innahu ta'ala jawadun karimun malikun barraufur rahim. Sorry, we appear to be having some technical issues. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم. عباد الله رحمكم الله، ان الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
اللہ اکبر اللہ اکبر اشہد ان لا الہ الا اللہ اشہد ان محمد رسول اللہ حی علی الصلاۃ حی علی الفلاح قامت الصلاۃ قامت الصلاۃ اللہ اکبر لا الہ الا اللہ
اللہ اکبر. الحمد للہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اهدنا الصراط المستقیم صراط الذین انعمت علیہم غیر المغضوب علیہم ولا الضالین آمین. قل یا ایہا الکافرون لا اعبد ما تعبدون ولا انتم عابدون ما اعبد ولا انا عابد ما عبدتم ولا انتم عابدون ما اعبد لکم دینکم ولی دین. اللہ اکبر. سمع اللہ لمن حمدہ. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ. استغفر اللہ. اللہم Thank you very much for joining us for our Friday service. I apologize for a slight technical hitch. I hope it didn't spoil your concentration or enjoyment of my khutbah. Our next broadcast is in Urdu tomorrow at 2 p.m. on a WhatsApp group called Pure Discussions. And the topic is Allama Sir Muhammad Iqbal and the Lahore Ahmadiyya organization. And then after that, our next broadcast will be 7 p.m. In Urdu, Tadabburul Quran, and at 7:40, reflections on the Holy Quran. Reflections is in English. The times given are all UK times. So I hope he'll be seeing you on one of these other broadcasts. In the meantime, the pray that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may keep Allah, all of you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.